Hi everyone, Sue Johnston here. This morning I was inspired. I was given a sense of freedom, permission to do something that I thought I wasn't allowed to do, and I gained a sense of joy by it all. Let me explain and show you what I'm talking about. It all started with this fellow on Bob Wells' Cheap RV Living channel. And when I saw his van build, especially the door and how he had incorporated various things that he liked, I realized that I don't have to give up everything. I may be able to use this wood frame and keep some of the plants, even if I get fake ones, to decorate my space. In my ensuite bathroom, I wallpapered with a strippable wallpaper that is like a wood image. It gives it sort of a homey feel, and it also actually covered up some of the blemishes that are in this rental home that we have. I would miss this. This for me is kind of a beachy feel, and I realized that I could actually use strippable wallpaper in a motorhome. One of the advantages of recreating, taking a familiar strippable wallpaper and using it in my motorhome, my new home, would be that there is that sense of familiarity, that sense of continuity, that sense of like, I like this over here, now I have it over here. And I think it brings a sense of comfort to what you have. My mom used to say that other artists can inspire us. So we take that idea and we make it our own. We put our own touches into it and we add our own sense of style. So I decided to go on a theme, just look at cupboards, because those are the things that are where we have a lot of stuff hid away that we're not using every day. And maybe those are the things that we could give up or at least sort through and find out which is the most important element that I need to keep. A lot of my cupboards actually have seasonal stuff stored away, like Christmas or other holidays. And we only pull those things out once in a while. So going through cupboards might be a first start in terms of minimalizing, is that the right term? Becoming a minimalist or decluttering what we own. I have a lot of things stuffed and stored away, and I'm attached to a lot of these things. So the task of actually doing it might be a little bit daunting, but I plan on doing it. It's what has to be done. As I videotape a couple of rooms, my art room and my dining room, which is a schmozzle right now because I'm getting ready for a craft fair show. As I videotape all this, I'm reminded of the Steven Spielberg movies where the camera would pan through the rooms and you see a lot of clutter and a lot of stuff. I liked his movies because it was a reflection of what we really have, a home well lived in and enjoyed. I just went around the house taking pictures of the cupboards that I will need to sort out and closets. And I realized that the whole task, when you look at it that way, is overwhelming. And I think that's why a lot of people don't bother minimizing or decluttering because the task is too great. We've taken years and years to accumulate all of these things. And in some cases, during COVID, I created my art room. And during COVID, I purchased a lot of the things that are in my art room to contain the paints and the soap base and the materials, the wood and everything that I'm working with, jewelry making and all the stuff that I was doing during COVID. And I realized that if I'm going to live in a motor home, I have to give up a lot of those things or just take a small portion of them. But back to the whole idea of minimizing and decluttering, it can seem to be an overwhelming task. And it could be. But the way you make it so it's not overwhelming is you take it a little bit at a time. So what I could do, which I don't know if I'm going to, but I might, I could make a list of each of those cupboards and maybe I'll go through those pictures and I'll make a list. and then set a schedule for myself. Maybe, I can't even say one a month because I don't have that many months. Not if my dreams and my plans come about the way I wish. But make a list and then tackle each item, each closet, one at a time. Like one of the closets I showed you, actually two of them, house Christmas items, just a Christmas tree and ornaments and all the things you use to decorate your home at Christmas. I think I might just package those up and store them at my daughter's if she'd allow me a space in her basement. I think she would. But anyways, these are the things that we think that we can't do without. And I am a very attached to kind of person. I get very attached to my things. They have a lot of sentimental memories, meaning, value for me. So when I think about moving into a motor home, my first thought is what I have to give up. But now I'm thinking I could actually save a few things that are true value to me. And so I'm going to create a little booklet to write down the things that I think I want to keep. Now here's what I found when I look at other people's videos where they've already gone through that process and they're on the other side of it. I'm on the beginning side, so I thought I would like to show that. Most people share the other side, like how we downsized and what it was like, and they're past that. I'm sharing it as I go through it. So what I found is that most people say that they actually kept a lot more things than they needed. So I'm going to have this is what I'd like to keep room, probably the dining room. And then I'm going to gradually go through those things and say, which one gives me the most value? Which one holds the most weight in terms of memories? And it may be that I end up storing a few things, but I have a feeling I'll store them and then I'll end up giving them up. I'm reminded that when I was in my 20s, I went to school in Chicago for a year and I had to give up my apartment. So I gave most of my belongings, stored them at my brother's home. Some of those things, I don't know why, he threw a chair that my mother had recovered, had a lot of sentimental value for me, and he threw it out. I'm not sure why. So when you leave your belongings in somebody else's home, you take a risk. And the risk is that they might not treat them or value them the same way you do. Having said that, most of the things I stored at my brother's home, I didn't retrieve. I ended up moving to Newfoundland and working there and stayed there for 10 years. And of course, it's too expensive to transport all your furniture over. It's much easier to buy new. So the things that I was attached to, they're in my memory now. It's like the chair my mom recovered. So it is possible to give up things and to feel okay, to be okay. So if you're thinking of decluttering and you think about the emotional attachment you have to things, perhaps it might be a good time to journal some of those thoughts and feelings so that they're on paper, because you can always take that paper with you. Take pictures of those items. You can always take that with you. Digital storage is pretty good these days. And gradually allow yourself to grieve the loss. You know, you're giving up something, but remember that it's your choice. And I would say just gradually go through that process and you can declutter, you can minimize, you can free yourself up. And you have to think about that in the long run, it's a freeing sensation. All right, see you later. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate you. I really do.